Hi, folks. Special greetings to you from the Snow City inside Canada. You're welcome to another live discussion on this page. Call a friend to also call a friend that the discussion has just begun. I was actually waiting for the first follower to join, and fortunately, the person is here. Now, applying for master's or PhD application is mostly an excitement journey or an exciting journey, but often an overwhelming one. It often comes with so many challenges. Even though so many applicants are so meticulous in submitting a successful application, there are certain important areas that we mostly fail to pay attention to. Because when it comes to masters or PhD application, the slightest error, the slightest mistake can actually hurt the success of your application process. It is based on that. That's why today we'll be discussing common masters or PhD application errors that everyone should avoid. If you commit any of these mistakes that I'm going to talk about, your chance of gaining admission is very slim. You have the highest probability of your application being refused. So if you are someone who intends to study for your master's, perhaps in Canada for 2025, or your PhD for 2025, US, UK, or wherever, the processes that I'm going to discuss with you should be one that you pay so much attention to. Because if you pay much attention to these processes, I can give you 100% guarantee that the success of your application is high. Now, the first error that I would like to point out is that most of us fail to do sufficient research. So that the error over there was insufficient error. Most of us wouldn't have the time to review the admission requirements of that particular university. Most of us will not have the patience to check the faculty requirements because there is general admission requirement of every university. There are faculty requirements and there are what programs requirements. So you need to pay so much attention to these three things. You see, now some of us will also fail to pay attention to what the research interest of the particular university. So we just rush, we are in haste to submit application without relaxing to take our time to figure out what exactly the university needs, what exactly the university is about. We should also take into consideration, sorry, excuse me. Sorry. We should also take into consideration the mission, the vision of that particular university, because these are the things that will help you in putting your applications together. We'll discuss why the mission and the vision of the university is actually an important one. So if you are somebody who does this, then I can tell you that your application is likely to be refused. What would be my remedy? My solution is that relax, take time, and review the admission requirements of that particular university. Know exactly what they want. Know exactly what they are expecting from their applicants before you begin the application process. It's actually a very important one. The second error I would like to enumerate is that most of us, we write poor or poorly written statements of purpose. The statements of intent are letter of motivation, which forms a critical aspect of the application process. Most of us don't pay attention to it. So we write it so poorly, and this can actually hurt your application process. What are some of the poorly written aspects of the letter of motivation? Some of us don't pay attention to the introduction. The introduction of the statement of purpose is very weak. The statement of purpose lack clarity. We fail to address certain key requirements of the admission process. Did you see what I said? We fail to what? Address certain key requirements of the application process. So it means if you fail the first error that I've spoken about, it will hurt the strong letter of purpose that you're supposed to write. It will hurt it. Because when you are writing your statement of purpose, there are certain requirements in the admission process that you need to address. Some of the things are, for example, your skills. You need to talk about your skills. You need to talk about your achievements. You need to talk about your experiences. These are not things that you just need to write. I in my bachelor's degree, I read MA Finance. I read BSc Mathematics, and I'm good at doing analysis, computing. No, you need to show it. You need to prove it. You need to show the skills that you are having and how these skills with your experiences will actually lay a solid foundation for you to be able to start and complete your program. This is very key. Now, some of the universities will also ask you that don't look for a potential supervisor. Just name any supervisor that you want. So, in your statement of purpose, you also need to what? State that. You need to state the particular professor you want to work with. You should also be able to state your research interest and how this research interest aligns with what your professor has been doing and how this will actually help the university. If you fail to address this and you have written poorly written statement of purpose, it will hurt your application. My remedy is that you should be able to craft your statement of purpose to meet the needs of the university, the needs of your faculty, and the needs of your program. Once you do this, you are good to go. Thank you. If you have a question, you should be dropping it in the comment section so that by the time I finish, I'll just begin to address them. Now, another error that I would like to state is that most of us, we present inadequate CVs or resumes. The CVs or the resumes that we present doesn't clearly shows that we are ready for the task ahead of us. What are some of the errors that we see in the in the CV or the resume? Lack of experiences. We don't show our skills. We don't show our achievement. Some of our CVs are actually poorly crafted. The CVs, we present them so poorly. Some of us still write our date of birth, our marital status. Some of us still put our pictures on the CV. Some of us don't even know the formatting of the CVs that are necessary for your master's or PhD application. And this can hurt your application significantly. You see, now, some of us do not even know that the articles that we have published, the researches that we have done, and some of our previous experiences actually form the basis of the success of our application. Because you are somebody who might even need a scholarship. You are somebody who might need some assistantship. So if you have had an experiences in teaching already, if you have a strong basis of researching, these are things that needs to be seen on your CV. Have you had some previous trainings before? Your training should be seen on your CV. If you have some certification, those things should be seen on your CV. These are the things that makes your CV a rich one, a strong one. So if you are unable to demonstrate all these things on your CV, it's actually unpardonable mistakes that you are committing. My remedy is that take time and build your resume. build your academic CV to reflect your skills, your experiences, your relevant education, your training, your certifications, and your area of this is research, the research interest you intend to pursue in that particular university. You need to demonstrate that. So your CV at the top, when your name, your address, and those things, your research interest should come. Then you write your profile. You see, or what people call the summary. Write a strong summary reflecting your bachelor's background, your master's background, your key skills or your relevant skills, and what exactly you intend to gain, what exactly you intend to do with the university to study for your master's or to study for your PhD. This should be demonstrated on your CV. You see, you're actually not going to be there to say, I'm Kofi Mensah, I've attended this university. When I was at UCC, I've done these researches. After school, I have. No, you are not going to be there. So your CV is actually going to be someone, your CV is actually going to be a virtual of you, an invisible person who will be there to communicate to the admission requirements. You see, so your CV is actually key in the application process. Now, another error that I would like to enumerate is that most of us get people who are not even qualified or who are not prepared to give us letters of motivation. So we have weak letters of motivation. Depending on the year you have completed university, if you are somebody who has completed university within the last 5 years, most of the universities will tell you that 2 or all the 3 referees who will be giving you recommendations should come from academia, that is from your university. But they will tell you that if you have completed school more than 5 years, 2 or 3 of your referees should come from what? Professionals, should be people you have worked with. It is not everybody who is actually qualified to give you recommendation. The person who is giving you recommendation should know exactly what is expected of him or her. The person should know what I need to put on paper, what I need to write in that link that will be sent from the university to complement the person's application. It's very important. So you need to pay so much attention to who you even recommend to give you recommendation. There are some of these lecturers or professors or what have you. If you ask them to give you recommendation, they will ask you to write the recommendation and bring it to them to submit to the school on your behalf. How can they do that? Because the student do not know what exactly is expected of them. There are certain relevant information that these universities actually need to be able to ascertain if you qualify for the program or not, and that can only be given by your professor. That can only be given by the person you have worked with, by your professor. By your superior. It's very important. Very, very, very important. Now, another thing that I want to spell out is that most of us submit incomplete application. We submit incomplete application. Why? Just because we do not know the requirement that the school has actually spelled out. Most schools will ask you to upload your transcript on the portal. You see that? Even though they are only asking you to upload transcript, it goes beyond just transcript. When they ask you to upload the transcript, this is what they want. They want you to upload your transcript and your certificates in that this portal. So you make sure that you scan your transcript in that orderly manner. First year, first semester, first year, second semester, second year, first semester, second year, second semester, third year, first semester, third year, second semester, fourth year, first semester, fourth year, second semester. You see the way I've stated it. Some people just try to jumble it up. If you do that, it will hurt it because they wouldn't be able to have that patience to rearrange it for you. After you are done scanning it, then you scan your certificate and attach it to it. Your certificate should actually be at the bottom of what? The transcript. Then you upload it. Some people do not also know the program requirement under incomplete application. Some of your programs will actually expect you to upload some scores, GMAT, GRE. If you have not written this, it means your application is incomplete. If you get that, it's actually very important that you need to know what exactly the program expects from you. This will make your application to be what? A complete one. There are some of us who will also not do enough or thorough research about the university. The application fee is $140, $130, or what have you. When we reach where we need to submit the application, then we realize that, oh, that money is about 1,800 in Ghana. As for in Nigeria, it will be in their thousands and what have you, or what. People wouldn't know that this is the amount of money I need to pay. So people are likely to leave the application hanging. It's an incomplete application. They won't review it. So we need to pay attention to some of these things, this thing critically. Now, another thing that I would like to talk about is what? Lack of program fit. It means that you are not fit for that particular program you are applying to. And this is a serious issue in most of the universities. Why? I've already stated that no two universities are the same. Their areas of research will surely be different. Now, the program requirements, general admission requirements will also be different. You see, and all of us are also not the same. We are not the same. Mr. Menya may want to maybe study MA in English language or PhD in English language, and he would like to specialize in maybe English, which aspect, maybe those semantics, something in Africa. I wouldn't want to go into that aspect of the English language. I would want to do something else. What you need to do is that you need to first check the areas of interest for that particular university. Check their areas of interest and ensure that your area of interest will match exactly what the university is doing. Because there are certain faculty members that may not be able to what? Supervise your project work or your thesis if your area of interest doesn't align with what they are capable of doing. Once your area of interest doesn't match with what the university is doing, you are not fit for the program. You see, you are not fit. Now, there are certain masters or PhD programs that will tell you that your undergraduate program should not necessarily be a continuation of what you want to do for your master. For example, when you check maybe some universities, you want to read masters in education. Some of the universities will tell you that your bachelor's program should not necessarily be in education before you can pursue masters in what? Education. Maybe you are somebody who wants to study MSc computer science. Most of the universities will tell you that for you to be qualified to study MSc computer science, your bachelor's program should have something to do with what? Computer science. So if your bachelor's program has nothing to do with computer science and you are applying for computer science, you are not fit for the program. This will hurt the success of your application. So these are some things that we need to pay so much attention to when we are navigating our ways to submit application for masters or PhD. Somebody has asked a question. Patrick or Joe Ajololo. Also, he's asking in case you need a scholarship for your study, do you need to state that in your SOP? Let me take that. You don't have to state that you need a scholarship in your SOP. During the application process, most of the universities will surely ask you if you have already secured a scholarship. Most of the universities will do that if you have already secured a scholarship. And you would have answered that question during the application process that yes or no. That is number one. Number two, when you are reviewing the admission requirements in the university, you see on their website that under funding option, there are funding, there are so many sources of funding in the faculty for students who are admitted, and you do not need to apply for scholarship separately. That tells you that once you are admitted in that particular university, they will consider you for what? A scholarship. And for you to be considered for scholarship has to do with some of these things that I have stated already. Because most of us who want scholarship, if you don't have scholarship, paying your tuition fee in overseas is no joke. Are you going to get these huge sums of dollars from? So when you do some of these things, it prepares your application. It makes you the best candidate to be issued a scholarship or to be granted a scholarship, either a partial or a full scholarship. Now, the second part of your question, Mr. Ajolo. What should be the maximum number of pages for your CV or resume? The maximum should be 2 pages. That is the maximum, because this is an academic CV. This is academic resume. The maximum should be 2 pages. It should be 2 pages because you need to, one, include your education, you include your experiences, you include your skills, you include your research interests, you include your publications, you include that is the articles or articles that you have written, you include your researches, you see, or you include your project works, projects that you have carried out, or projects that you have helped other people to carry out. Then you need to demonstrate the role that you have played. If you have played a major role in the researches or in the research, that is it. But if you haven't played a major role, you should also demonstrate the role that you have played. You talk about your training, you talk about your certification. See, these things that I have stated already is more than 1 page. Maximum should be what? A 2 page document. It shouldn't be more than a 2 page document. You see? Okay, thank you. I think I've answered your question. Oh, Mr. Menya, thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Now, in some of the universities, for example, when you take University of Alberta would not ask you to write your or prepare your CV and upload your CV on their portal. No, they won't do that. Number one, they won't also ask you to write your statement of purpose and upload on their page. No. When you are checking the admission requirement or you are filling the form, you reach a place where they themselves they have a form on their website. They will ask you to download the form. Some of the programs do not even expect you to get your potential supervisor. So when you download the form, they will tell you that just go through the list of the various supervisors we have in the faculty. Supervisors is faculty by faculty. Go through them and see which of these supervisors you think can supervise your thesis work. Just take 3 of them. There is a page, or sorry, there is a column on the form that I have already stated that you need to download on University of Alberta's website. You state the 3 supervisors there. That is number one. Another place is they ask you to state the articles that you have published. You state it, the role that you have played. You state that. The next one is you ask you to state your experiences. Your experiences talks about the roles, the work, or whatever you have done previously. You state that. Then finally, there is a big column there that they will expect you to what? Write your statement of purpose there. The statement of purpose is still at the letter of motivation. You just, if you have already written it, you just copy it and paste it in that column. So you see that they are doing about 3 things in one. So once you have filled this in in the form that you have downloaded from their website, then you now upload this form back. You see, just imagine, hey, Philo. I know Philo is somebody who is well vested in monosaccharide and disaccharide. Philo, she is vested in monosaccharide, polysaccharide, and those things. She's this thing, well vested when it comes to catering. So you want to study catering, and the university says that we have so many faculty members. We want to make your work so easy for you. Don't go sending cold emails to professors that I want you to supervise me and what have you. Just go through the names of these professors. Just take 3 on this form. If you fail to do that, it will hurt your application significantly. Why? Because the university will not know. You are just going to give them a lot of work. So they wouldn't be able to try to figure out who should be your supervisor. Because being a supervisor goes beyond just selecting somebody. You even look through the person's work, the person's publication, and what have you. And there should be something that should interest you about that particular person. So if you fail to indicate who you want to be your supervisor, to hurt your application becomes incomplete. It means that you have not been able to review the admission requirements thoroughly. You get that? So that is it. These are certain basic things I want to bring to your attention. It is my expectation that by 2025, a lot of you would have come to Canada to study, go to US, go to UK, Belgium, or what have you. It's actually very, very important. I'll be so happy. I'll be more than happy to see you. That has always been my prayer. Enjoy the rest of your evening. If you are in Ghana, enjoy your evening. If you are in Volta region, Medofia Inaomi, Medofia Inami Akatan, Madame Philo, Medofia Boko, that was ya, Mr. Menya, Fiani Boko, Foa Jololo, Fiani Boko, that was ya, Maune Nani Plimilo, Maune Vuagbo Namiro, Maune Namio Jimedidi Ono Vamelo, Maune Vugamo Namiro, and on this journey, Maune Nami Bedi, Alo Maune Vumo Nami, no wa connect me, na ame you akperemian, Edmond. Oh, thank you. God should connect you to people who can help you. You need people who should be able to help you on this journey, especially if you are coming from my type of family. You need people who connect you. You need people who assist you. You need people who give you information. You need people who help you to get documents. You need people. It's very important. May God connect you to meet the right people. Don't always go out looking for destiny helpers who will give you money. It goes beyond just money. You need people who give you the ideas. You need people who give you the information to make your journey a success. That has always been my prayer for you. Thank you, Philo. I miss you so much. I miss you, Philo. You need to link up. I miss you, monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Philo. So God be with you. Enjoy your evening. Bye bye.